Sean Sewell with Engearment.com in our beautiful mountains of Colorado. Middle of winter 2024. We've been testing out the Gordini Forge heated gloves right here. Gore-Tex with a climate system that turns on when you put the glove on. Very intelligent gloves and a lot more than just a typical heated glove. So let's get into it. First and foremost, sizing. I'm a men's size large in most gloves. Nothing crazy about my hands, but temperature-wise, it is 10 degrees currently at 9 a.m. Got down to about 3 or 4 degrees last night, and I used these for the last 15 hours nonstop. As soon as I put my hand in there, it turned on. I'll take it out, and it will turn off. There you go, turned off. So there's no on-off button. It's simply, you move your hand into the glove, and it turns on. Like that. That's pretty incredible. So the testing parameters for these gloves. I have been testing them the last week and a half in Denver, Colorado, leaving them in my truck in the morning when I get to my truck, which I park outside, about 10 degrees, maybe 15 degrees on a good day. And I simply put my hand into these gloves, and then I go to grab my snow scraper, snow brush. And by the time I have my hands on the brush and I'm back outside to scrape off the windows, the gloves are turned on automatically, like you saw, and heating up to around 81.5 degrees, which for me is a nice comfortable temperature. There's nothing I have to do on my part. I don't have to push any buttons. I don't have to go into an app to activate it. I just simply put my hand in there. It turns on like you saw. Within 3 seconds or so, it heats up to the temperature that I have chosen. Actually, I didn't choose it. I went into the app, and I'll show you how this app works here in a second. And you can calibrate it. You can answer some questions so it can personalize the warmth to your desire. I like the cold. I camp in the cold. Like I said, it's 10 degrees Fahrenheit, and this is my happy place. I'm gonna take my dog Chloe, and we're gonna go up split boarding. And last night we slept in this tent right here. It is not heated. And to be totally honest, I should have brought an additional down blanket for us. It was pretty cold, not too cold. I'll do it again tonight. But just to give you a reference of, my cold tolerance. Your cold tolerance is probably different than that. Maybe it's not. Maybe you just love the cold. Good for you. But you're looking at these gloves because you're looking at a heated glove, and you're wondering how does it work and how long does the battery last, and what's going on in it. Does it get that hot? All those are great questions. I'll do my best to answer them. So there is no on-off button like I demonstrated earlier. You put your hand into it and it works. Now I charged it once and I used it for say 15-minute increments all week this week. After I clean the windows, I get into the car, the truck, 4Runner, Mountain Fit, and I drive to the gym and go train people. And it's so 15 minutes of use all the last week and a half in temperatures 10 to 15 degrees. The heater in my truck doesn't even kick on by the time I get to the gym. So I'm relying on these guys to keep my hands nice and pliable so I can go in and start coaching. But without charging them anymore, I took them up here to camp, and I'm really excited to camp. I love camping, and my typical camping glove system is a little bit elaborate. About 3 years ago, while testing gloves, of course, I pushed the limits of my abilities and probably the gloves, and they were from a nice company. It was Hestra. They make great stuff. But I wound up getting frostnip on both my hands, and if you ever had frostnip or frostbite, it's very unpleasant, and it takes years for things to work correctly, the nerves to fire correctly, and the tolerance to cold to come back. And I feel like just this winter, 3 winters in, I'm getting back to being more comfortable, especially more comfortable in the elements and pushing the temperatures down to single digits and below for camping and for split boarding and hiking and other activities. So my system to stay safe and stay warm has typically been a fleece base layer. The head gloves from Costco, you've probably seen them, they're 10 bucks. Of course, we get ones from other brands all the time that are fantastic and cost probably 3 or 4 times the price. But something like the head to whatever glove, a Gordini base layer. And then I put in a mitten, a down or a synthetic fill mitten over that glove, and I put in 1 or 2 heat packs to keep my hands as warm as possible, as long as possible, while I sleep in the tent that I just showed you, or maybe it's a different kind of rooftop tent depending on what we're testing. But basically I'm sleeping in a tent in 10 degrees or colder weather for 8 hours plus, sometimes longer because I hibernate because I'm basically a bear. And that's my system, and it's worked pretty well for a long time, but sometimes the heat packs give up a couple hours in. Sometimes I forget to put the mitten on all the way, and I somehow remove the mitten in the middle of the night, or something happens, and that it can become dangerous situation. So that's the main testing protocol. We did the casual testing that a lot of you are probably gonna use it for: heated gloves, scraping the vehicle off in the morning, or going to a consumer event, going to a trade show, going to a concert, grocery store, walking the dog, walking the kids, whatever. Yeah, does that great. But how does it do over a long period of time? How long does the battery last? Can you take these snowshoeing? Can you take these hunting? Can you take these winter camping? So this is the part of the review that hopefully most of you check out, because this is going to blow your mind. All right, the test. We got to camp 5 p.m. yesterday. Got a screenshot of that there. It is currently 9:30 a.m. the next day. So however many hours is that? 15, 16 hours of use. They've been in my hands the entire time. Keeping in mind that you have this Climate super smart integrated technology. Again, it's not just turning on levels 1, 2, and 3. It turns on for you, it goes to a temperature for you, and then when it gets there, it backs off to preserve battery heat. So you're not just run all the time and then you get to 115 degrees, and then the battery dies after 3 hours. No, this is going to blow your mind. So they're still going after that 15, 16 hours of use and 10-degree temperatures, and it's going to blow your mind. I had to take my glove off for just one moment to show you this. I assumed it would have died by midnight, maybe 6 a.m. Nope. We are still at 50% power on both of them. And watch, my right glove right here is going down in temperature because I took it off my body. So it's maintaining the 81.5 on the left. See, it's heating up a little bit more. Now the right one's going down a little bit to compensate for being off my hand. 58% and 52%. I had the mode I have it in is mountaineering. I'm not really mountaineering, but I'm in the mountains. And yeah, let's see what stats say. 13-hour session, 22% of the battery was used. 70% of the time it was at the target temperature, and 45% was in the optimization for the battery. Okay, that just blew everybody's mind, didn't it? So 13 hours of use, and I still have a lot of battery to go in 10-degree weather. Now, I don't want anybody to go out and purchase these and go for like a 3-day adventure and think they're gonna last the whole time and then blame me if they don't. Always have a backup plan, always have some extra heat packets, another pair of mittens. I'm not advocating you to go do something crazy with this, but I just hopefully demonstrated the battery life, and I showed you the temperature I keep it at, and you saw the stats. I don't know what other stats I can provide to you other than what I just showed you, and telling you how I've used them, showing you where I've used them. It's pretty incredible. Talk about price. So you can go on Amazon and find a lot of cheap heated gloves, and we've been sent a dozen of those, and I wind up immediately giving them away because I checked the construction, one on the sewing, the battery. We test the battery life. We do some simple tests, and it doesn't cut it for Engearment. So you get what you pay for in that cheap category. Middle range, 200 to 300 range, there's some really good ones in there. I won't mention the bands, but there's some really good ones in there. We've tested them and they work great. Again, I'm getting like 3 to 5 hours of use out of those guys in the similar kind of conditions. This is $400. So this is gonna be a top tier offering, probably the most top tier that I've seen, that I've tested and I've used. But I think all the things I just showed you clearly show that this is worth the money. If you're doing these cold activities, if you're hunting, if you're skiing, if you're at the resort skiing or snowboarding, you're snowshoeing, you live in Minnesota or Canada, it's just cold. A lot of applications where these gloves can come in handy. And the battery life, that's ridiculous. And the fact that they kept my hands from getting frostnip or frostbite while I'm hanging out up in this tent. Again, I'll show you the tent. It's nothing crazy. It's just a rooftop tent. It's not like the usual expedition tents that we test, It's just a tent with a 2-inch mattress and 2 20-degree sleeping bags up there. I really should have brought a 3rd down blanket for my dog and I. It was cold, but not too cold. So hopefully going over all the features of the heated gloves. Oh, one more thing. They're good gloves on their own. Even when the pack is out and it fits right here, which is nice. It's not in the way. So sometimes they put them back here. If you really crank your wrist, if you're down on the ground, if you're on your belly for whatever reason, scoping or playing with kids, or somehow you found yourself on your belly. So hopefully seeing how these gloves work, how they function, where the battery pack is located, the dexterity, the warmth, the usefulness, the quality of the construction is all very helpful. Thumbs up would be appreciated. If you want to see more content from Gordini, and we actually have another review in the works, our fellow Engearment teammate Rafael Piz from Chile is designing his own line called the Front line of gloves. It's a system, a glove, and an overmitt or overglove. Really awesome stuff. Rafael, if you don't know yet, is a backcountry splitboarder, environmental advocate, and has several movies out, some of them with stars such as Jeremy Jones. Awesome stuff. I believe Rafi is up shooting in Alaska right now. So awesome person, awesome friend, and we'll have that review up here soon. And if you want to see that, consider subscribing to our Engearment YouTube channel, link below. If you also have experience with the Forge glove, have used them, have insights on how to use them better, please share with the audience. We're always here to learn. I'm Sean Sewell, the owner and director of Stoke for Engearment, and until next time, take care.